الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فقد قال تعالى في القرآن المجيد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله يحب المتوكلين وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من سلك طريقا يلتمس فيه علما سهل الله طريقا إلى الجنة صدق الله العظيم وصدق رسول النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين. Alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all of us are gathered here today, taking part in Salatul Jumu'ah, this beautiful gathering. And before we continue on to the topic of today, a reminder for myself and a reminder for everybody here, that first off, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for granting us this opportunity and this blessing to be able to come and sit in this gathering, in this masjid, whereas we did not wake up this morning and have this thought or this worry whether or not this masjid is still going to be standing there when I go there. I did not go to sleep last night thinking, is my house still going to be standing there or not? Am I going to see my family tomorrow or not? But our brothers and sisters in Palestine, every single day, every single night, every breath they're taking, their worry is what? They're scared, they're afraid, because they don't know what's going to happen the next second. They can lose their family any second. They can lose their life, their house, their masjid, their city, whatever it is. Every second they're worried about it. So you make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He grants them patience, that He grants them success, grants them victory against the enemies of Islam. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it such that they do not die in vain, they're not passing away in vain, that every single one of them pass away the death of a shaheed, inshaAllah. Now coming to the main topic of what we wanted to speak about today, Allah mentions in the Quran in Surah Al-Buruj, قُتِلَ أَصْحَابُ الْأُخْدُودِ. He says that the people of the trench were killed. So inshallah what we're going to do is we're going to go a little bit into the tafsir of what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told about what the people and who the people of the trench were. We may be familiar with the story of the man, and the boy and the king. Right? Many of us may have heard it, the boy and the king. So we're going to go through his story and we're going to take out a few lessons from the story of the boy and the king, inshallah. Imam Ahmad rahimahullah recorded from Suhaib that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam reported that there lived a king before you and he had a magician who used to work for him. So back in the day, maybe nowadays as well, but the kings had different people that would provide different services for entertainment, right? There was a magician, there was a jester or a sorcerer. Maybe there was one person that would come and do tricks, someone would come and tell jokes. So there was this king who had a magician or sorcerer who was getting old. And as he was becoming older and older, he was getting sickly. So he told the king that before I pass away, I feel like my time is coming, I want to leave behind my legacy, so I want you to give me a student that I can teach all my knowledge to, and he can carry on my legacy after I pass away. So the king agreed. And he told this one boy, this young boy, to go and learn this magic from this magician and the sorcerer every single day. He set up classes for him, and every day the boy used to go and learn magic from the sorcerer. Now on the way to the magician, he used to stop by another sheikh as well. Now this sheikh, he was actually teaching him the correct things. He used to teach him about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He would teach him about deen, about Islam. So every day he used to stop by the sheikh and then he would go to the magician and then he would come back to town. So it so happened that sometimes he would get late for class with the magician or he would get late coming back to town. So he told the sheikh, what do I do? So the sheikh told him that whenever you go back to town late, just tell him the magician was holding you up. And whenever you go to the magician and you get late for class, tell him the people at town were holding you up. So anyways, he kept going back and forth, and he was learning both things, right? And it could be a little confusing, because on one side, the magician is teaching him all the wrong things, right? Not the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but rather things that they're doing with the jinns or, dark magic, whatever it is. And then at the same time, he's learning the correct thing from the sheikh. So he used to be confused about it. One day, while he was in the village, this animal, this creature, this beast came about, and everybody was afraid to approach it. They were scared of it. So he thought to himself, you know what? This is my chance to find out which one is actually correct. So what he did was, he picked up a stone and he took the name of Allah. He basically said that if you are true, if what the Shaykh is teaching me is true, when I throw the stone, make something happen, save everybody. He picked up the stone, he took the name of Allah, he threw it, and right there the creature died, subhanAllah. Obviously, right? It's not going to die with the name of the magician. It died because he took the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Moving on. Another thing that he learned from the Shaykh was he learned how to heal certain sicknesses. Right? Leprosy, something to do with curing blindness. So there were different sicknesses. He learned the skills from the Shaykh, and he was curing different people. It so happened that one of the courtiers, one of the people that used to work closely with the king, he had loss in vision. He wasn't able to see properly. So he heard that there's this one kid that does, treatments. He cures your eyesight. So he went to the boy and he told him, I want you to fix my eyesight. So the boy said, okay, fine. I'll do it under one condition. And that condition is what? That when I perform the treatment, you have to make sure that you believe that I am not the one that is curing you. It's not because of this treatment. No, it is only because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is allowing it to happen. Meaning Allah is the one curing you and not me. It's happening on my hands, but it's through the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Courtier said, fine, I'll go ahead and believe that. Whatever you tell me to do, let's just get it done. He got his eyesight back, his vision back, and he went back to the king. He showed him, he's happy, I can see again. So the king asked him, where'd you get it done? How'd you get this treated? He told him about the boy. He told him that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cured me. This made the king furious, made him angry. He said, what did you say? Did you say Allah cured you? Who is Allah? He told him, my Lord. So I'm your Lord. What are you talking about? Allah didn't cure you. I cured you. I'm your Lord. So then the king called for the boy. And he told the boy, is this true? You're treating people, you're curing people, and you're telling him that Allah cured them instead of me? The boy said, of course. It's Allah. Allah is the one that's curing it. So then he started to threaten the boy. And then he told the boy, where did you learn these things? Of course, the boy, he tried not to snitch on his sheikh, right? He wanted to make sure that nothing happens to him. But he broke. There's only so much a person can hold on to. He broke and he told him that, yes, this one sheikh, he taught me all these things about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He told me about these treatments, these cures. So the king sent for that person. He sent for the sheikh. He summoned him. He told him that, is this true? Are you the one that taught this boy about Allah? The sheikh said, of course. He said, denounce your religion, leave your belief, and claim that I am your Lord, otherwise, I'm going to kill you. The Shaykh knew he was on the right path. He knew I'm on haqq, I'm on truth. There is no reason for me to be scared. If my life goes, I go to Jannah. Right? For the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So then, he kept pressing him, he did not budge. So finally, the king killed this person, killed the Shaykh. There are different narrations as to how he was killed. Some say he was thrown into a boiling pot of water, a cauldron, and some say he was cut, his head was cut. Either way. Anyways, the boy saw this, and the king told the boy, look, I'm giving you one more chance. Right? You've seen what happened to your teacher, you've seen what happened to your ustad and your sheikh. If you don't denounce your religion, if you don't stop saying these nonsensical things, the exact same fate awaits you too. The boy knew he was on haqq. He said, go ahead, do whatever you want. So the king told a few of his soldiers to take this child. Now I want you to keep this in mind. A child and a bunch of soldiers, right? Keep that in mind. The king told all the soldiers, take him to this one place out into the ocean on a boat and throw him off the boat. So the soldiers all took this kid out into the ocean on the boat. Somehow, by the miracle of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he made dua to Allah. All these soldiers fell out of the boat into the ocean, and the boy came back to the king. The king was even more furious. Like, what? How could you guys mess this up? Right? It's a child. I sent a bunch of qualified soldiers, and this child came back unharmed. So then the child told the king that, look, I know you really want to get rid of me. You want me to stop preaching my religion. You want me to stop speaking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I myself will give you the solution. I'm going to tell you how to get rid of me. King was surprised, obviously, like, why is he going to tell me how to get rid of him? He said, fine, what do you have to say? He told the king, what I want you to do is gather all the people in the village, gather all the people of the town, get them together in one place, and then you're going to tell one of your archers to shoot an arrow. But when he shoots the arrow, he's going to take the name of my Lord. Of who? My Lord, of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the only way that you're going to be able to get rid of me. That's the only way you're going to be able to kill me. So the king said, fine, let's give it a try. He gathered all the people in the town, set up a stage, make sure everybody's looking. And that's what he did. He tied the boy onto one side. He told his archer, take the name of Allah and shoot. And just as he said, that arrow went into the boy's heart and he passed away right there. King was so happy. He said, look, where is his Lord now? Where is Allah? I killed the boy. He's been preaching all these things. The funny thing was the king had no idea what this child just did. What an opportunity he just took. All the people saw this. And then the king told his soldiers, dig trenches around the people. Anyone that, and light a fire. Anyone that tries to pass, ask them, who is your Lord? If they say Allah, you throw them into the fire. And if they say me, then you let them pass. And that's where the name Ashab al-Ukhdud came from. Right? The people of the trenches. So inshallah, the next khutbah, we're going to go again through the story and we're going to take out a few lessons and how we can apply those things into our everyday lives. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. نحمد ونصلي ونسلم على رسول الكريم أما بعد. The very first lesson that I want to take out from here is we notice that the boy, when he was going to seek this knowledge, he was learning two things. He was learning what is correct and he was learning what was incorrect. There's a Sahabi by the name of Salman al-Farsi radiallahu anhu. He studied many religions before he finally came and found the truth of Islam. So the lesson I want to take out from here is don't only study the religion of Islam, but study other religions as well. But with what intention? What purpose? When you see the difference in the religion, you will appreciate being a Muslim even more. When you see the teachings of Islam, you see the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you see the benefits of the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're going to appreciate being a Muslim even more. If you ever notice, people that come new into Islam are revert brothers and sisters. It's very common that their zeal and their iman and their faith, you'll notice it is so much stronger. I've seen it personally. Right, their faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Islam, they practice even harder than a person who was born into Islam. Why? Because once they found the truth, they understand how important it is. They understand what they did not have before, and they understand how amazing the religion of Islam is. So if we can study those differences, understand those differences, it will make us appreciate our religion more and practice our religion even more. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man salaka tariqan yaltamisu fihi ilman, sahala Allahu tariqan ila al-jannah." Rawahu Tirmidhi. He says a person who adopts the way to seek knowledge, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make his way to Jannah easy for him. Very important that we learn what is knowledge, right? What exactly is the knowledge that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to learn? طلب العلم فريضة على كل مسلم أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, it is fard, it is compulsory upon each and every Muslim and Muslima to what? To seek knowledge. Meaning, whatever we do in our everyday lives, if I'm a doctor, then what are the things that I need to follow to be within the bounds of Sharia? If I'm a businessman, how am I supposed to run my business in order for my income to be halal? If I'm a student, what are the boundaries I'm supposed to have with my peers, with my teachers? So in our everyday lives, learning and knowing what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us at every moment of our life, that is what is fard and compulsory upon each and every one of us. It's not necessary that you have to travel overseas, you have to become a sheikh, you have to become an alim, you have to become a maulana. No, that's not what's fard. Fard is knowing in your everyday lives what it is that I need to be knowing and doing in accordance to the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in accordance to the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. SubhanAllah, the zeal of the knowledge of people seeking knowledge in the past, it's unexplainable. right? I've seen it with my asatida. When I was studying in South Africa, I remember one time we were in Bukhari class, and this was at nighttime. Our Ustad was teaching us Sahih Bukhari, and he got a call that his wife was in labor. I want to say it was at like 9:30 p.m. He got a call, his wife is in labor. He told us, I need to be excused. He closed the book. He went to the hospital, helped his wife deliver the baby, and he came back and he started his dars again. SubhanAllah. So that's how important they thought that knowledge was. A funny story that I just remembered before we continue. I'm not trying to show my zeal of knowledge, but there was one ustad who, our Tirmidhi ustad, and he had a bit of a monotone voice, right? So when he would teach, it was all that one tone, no ups, no downs, nothing. And so sometimes it would make me sleepy, right? And I'll start dozing off in class, and I wouldn't be able to take notes. So what I used to do was I kept a bottle of hot sauce next to me, and every time I would start falling asleep, I would take the hot sauce, drink it, wake myself up, and continue to take notes. But anyways, coming back to the topic, right? Making sure that we learn what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us, and not only ourselves, but our kids. Very, very important. Every day we're always talking about our flag bearers, the future flag bearers of Islam. They're going to represent us in the future. But what action are we taking? Nowadays, we have absolutely zero excuse to say that I'm not able to provide Islamic education to my children. The masajid, the schools, online, there is no way that I can tell you, are you giving any kind of Islamic education to your children? And you can say, I'm not able to. It's impossible. We have too many resources nowadays to be able to make that excuse. Second thing, the second lesson I want to take out from here is when that boy picked up that stone, he had that trust, that tawakkul ala Allah. What is tawakkul ala Allah? Having that trust that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will always have a plan for you. Not God's plan, no, Allah's plan, right? So making sure that you have that tawakkul, making sure you have that trust that Allah has kept some kind of khair for you. But at the same time, keep the balance. Rasulullah also taught us, tie your camel and then have tawakkul ala Allah. If I go to a sketchy part of town and it says on the sign, make sure you take your valuables, make sure you lock your car, and then you leave. I leave all my valuables inside. I leave all my money. I leave my gold inside. I leave the car door open. And I come back and my car is robbed. Who am I going to blame? I'm going to blame Allah and say, Ya Allah, I had tawakkul on you. Why'd you let my car get robbed? No. This is a world of cause and effect. You do something, then you'll get a result. So whenever I get sick, do I just sit back and say, tawakkul ala Allah, I'm not going to take medicine, I'm not going to go to the doctor? No. Go to the doctor. Go take medicine. It's a sunnah of Rasulullah to do so. So inshallah, we make dua to Allah that He grants us that tawakkul, that trust, just like the Sahaba radiallahu anhum had as well. And finally, the last lesson I want to take out from the story is when that boy told the king to make sure that everybody sees how he gets shot and he passes away when the name of Allah is taken. What exactly was he doing there? He was seizing an opportunity for da'wah. He was what? Seizing an opportunity to give the people da'wah, to spread that message of Islam, to let them know what the truth is. So when we are going about our daily lives, every single day we interact with people that are non-Muslim. Whether it's at school, at the grocery store, at work, in our business, we're always interacting with people that are not Muslim. So we have to seize that opportunity, whether it's with words, whether it's with actions. We have to make sure that we're able to convey the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We're able to portray Islam in the way that it's supposed to be. Unfortunately, nowadays what happens is we within the Muslim community chase Muslims away from Islam. My actions, my words, I'm not able to tell them properly. I see someone doing them wrong, I tell, you're doomed to hell. That's not some way to give da'wah. We want to make sure that we're inviting people towards Islam and we're not chasing them away. So we have to start from the Muslim community, within ourselves first, our children, our friends, our relatives. Invite them towards Islam. And then when we go outside, make sure that we are portraying Islam in the best manner possible. Sometimes we have these games at the masjid, like for the youth, right? We have a basketball tournament, we have a ping pong tournament, we have a game night, and then we have halaqah afterwards. What is the purpose? Why do we do that? Why don't we just invite them to the halaqah? Because you look for that common ground in order to draw a person in. You look for that common ground, and then afterwards, once they are comfortable with you, you give them da'wah. If I just go up to a person and say, you don't pray salah, pray salah. You don't give zakat, give zakat. You don't go for umrah, go for umrah. If I start doing that, no one is going to listen to me. No one's going to listen to us. So in your workplace, maybe you know one of your colleagues, they like playing football. They like watching football. Sunday night football, right? Invite them over to your house. Tell them, hey, you know what? We're going to watch football together, have some food, and then in there, subtly give them da'wah. You don't even have to take the name of Islam or the Prophet Muhammad. Just the way that you treat that person, he is automatically going to feel some kind of connection. He's going to feel drawn towards you. He's going to wonder what religion, where, what teachings does he follow. That's what we want to be. We want to make sure our every word and our every action is an invitation towards Islam, inshallah. With one last story I'm going to end off. During the time of Rasulullah ﷺ, one of the examples, right, if you study the life of Nabi ﷺ, you're going to see many different techniques of da'wah that he used. Many ways that he gave da'wah. One of the ways was this finding this common ground. There was a person outside of Medina by the, I'm trying to remember the name, Rukana, there we go. He was like an undefeated wrestling champion, you can say, right? Khabib, we have Khabib nowadays. Right, something similar, except he wasn't Muslim. So anyways, Rasulullah ﷺ, he went to this place and he approached Rukana. He knew Rukana is an influential person, right? So he went to the person and he told him, you know, that I want to give you da'wah. And then he made a deal with Rukana. He said, look, if I am able to wrestle you and take you down, you have to give me a chance to give you that da'wah. He didn't say accept Islam. He said, give me a chance to give you the da'wah if I wrestle you and I take you to the ground. Rukana agreed, of course. He said, I'm undefeated. You know, I'm not afraid of anybody. I'm not going to lose. So anyways, Nabi ﷺ wrestled Rukana and he took him down first round. Rukana couldn't accept defeat. He said, no way. Ain't no way. He said, again. Second round, Rasulullah ﷺ took him to the ground again. Third time, again, Rukana lost to the blessed hands of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then there's different riwayat, whether he became Muslim or not, we don't know for sure. But the highlight over here is that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't just go straight and start giving da'wah. No, he found that common ground in between him and Rukana. He knew, all right, this guy likes to wrestle. You know, he's an undefeated champion. If I can get him to start wrestling with me, then he will open up to me. He will allow me to come and give him da'wah. So just like that, we have to look for those opportunities. Seize every opportunity, right? We have social media. Use it for the right purposes, right? We have all these different avenues, different places where we can spread that da'wah. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in Ibn Majah, there's a hadith, he says, الدال على الخير كفاعله أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. That a person who guides or shows someone towards a good action, it's as if he's done that action as well. So when I tell somebody to give sadaqah, they give sadaqah, because they were inspired by my words, I'm getting the reward. When you go and you tell your friend, come pray salah, and they pray salah, guess who's getting that reward? You're going to be getting that reward. If you teach someone to pray salah, a new Muslim, for the rest of their lives, every single time they pray salah, who's getting that reward? You're going to be getting that reward. So you make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He grants us all these amazing qualities of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that we're able to apply each one of these lessons into our everyday lives. SubhanAllah, this sacrifice that the boy made, think about it, how we can compare to the sacrifice of our brothers and sisters in Palestine. Yes, we feel so bad for them. But subhanAllah, the amount of reward they're getting, the amount of hasanat they are getting, they're passing away as shaheed, and the rest of the world is seeing this, and many people are being guided towards Islam because of this. They are finally opening their eyes. If only the powers, the superpowers, the Muslim countries, if only they would open their eyes as well and help our brothers and sisters, inshallah. Allahumma arina al-haqqa haqqa warzuqna ittiba'ah wa arina al-batila batila warzuqna ijtinabah. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhaban nar. وقنا عذاب القبر، وقنا عذاب الحشر، وقنا عذاب الميزان. اللهم اهدنا الصراط المستقيم، اللهم اهدنا واهد بنا واجعلنا سببا لمن اهتدى. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين، اللهم أيد الإسلام والمسلمين، اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم انصر من نصر دين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم واجعلنا منهم. اللهم اجعلهم من المفلحين، اللهم اجعلهم من المفلحين، اللهم اجعلهم من المفلحين. اللهم انصر إخواننا في كل مكان، اللهم انصر إخواننا وأخواتنا وآباءنا وأمهاتنا وأولادنا في كل مكان، خاصة في فلسطين. اللهم زلزل أقدام أعداء المسلمين، اللهم زلزل أقدام أعداء المسلمين، اللهم زلزل أقدام أعداء المسلمين. اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكيها أنت خير من زكاها، أنت وليها ومولاها. اللهم إنا نسألك علما نافعا وعملا متقبلا ورزقا طيبا حلالا واسعا وأزواجا وأولادا صالحا. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم، وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلق محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. أقيموا الصلاة.